Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is Beena Khan from DHA Today. We at DHA Today are paying a little tribute, a homage to the war heroes of the 65 war. If you recall, 1965 war was initiated by India. Even though we had less resources, the entire country stood up. All the armed forces got together and repelled the enemy. The message was very clear: do not mess with us. We might be small in numbers, but we are better off in valor and courage. Such stories are all around us. It is my greatest honor and privilege to be seated next to another legend, Admiral Shamoon Alam, the brother of Wing Commander 𝐓𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿 Alam. The entire Alam clan has in one way or another served the country in the armed forces. So let's ask sir to take us through the fateful day and what his role was, what the Navy's role was during the 65 war. Assalamu alaikum sir, and welcome to the show. We were the ones with less resources. We were a smaller country. It looked to the enemy that the enemy could easily win. But that was not the case. So it was a combined effort of all the armed forces, including the citizens of the country. But with details, the Navy guarded the coastline. How was that, and how was the strategy?
In 1965, we had a small navy, but it was highly trained and motivated. We had one light cruiser, 6 destroyers, 1 submarine, and 1 fleet tanker. So with such a force, you could term it as a defensive force. The Indian Navy was many times larger than what we were. So we could only react to the Indian aggression. And the Indians did cross our border and they started the war. So we had to retaliate, and we were prepared to retaliate. We put to sea. In this time, our commanders worked us up to a very high degree. The surface ships, he came up with a unique formation called Formation Victor, which was a V-shaped formation, at the center of which was the light cruiser, and the destroyers were placed on the wings.
Okay.
So that when we opened fire, we could engage the enemy at the same time because of the different ranges of the guns. So our ships were highly worked up. We had a submarine, which was an offensive weapon, and a fleet tanker, which kept us out at sea for many, many months. A destroyer needs to go back to harbor to refuel, which the Indians had to do, whereas we stayed out at sea for the 6 months or so without coming back to harbor. So our strategy also was much superior. So what we'd done is placed our submarine off Bombay, and our surface ships were located to the south of Karachi, and they were replenished by our fleet tanker. The aim was that when the Indians came out of Bombay in force, they had an aircraft carrier and many porting ships. When they'd come out, the submarine would hit them from the south, and we would then, the surface fleet, would go out and trap them in the middle. This is called the hammer and the anvil. In fact, you could call it the double hammer.
Double.
Because the submarine also is not a static, it is an offensive weapon. And we were to trap the Indian fleet in the middle. The Indians were very wise. They did not come out in any big force. They didn't bring their aircraft carrier out. It kept sitting in Bombay, but they sent out a few smaller ships which were not really a significant target. Their morale was very high. When I used to go out in uniform, people would cheer us, maro naras. Lovely time to be in the Navy.
But sir, what is your one piece of advice to the youngsters? Why should they not only remember but read up on the 1965 war? Why is it important for youngsters to know this history?
Because our strategy was very good. If we have the right strategy, we can always win a war.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us the time. Admiral Shamoon Alam very categorically stated that it doesn't matter the resources, what matters is the strategy. But the kind of patriotism seen in the 1965 war was not only the armed forces, but also the common men who stood up against the enemy and said, no way can you invade us, or no way can you even think of invading us or trying to mess with us. We are Pakistanis, this is our motherland, and we know how to defend it. Either it's coast, either it's air, or either it's land. So everybody was united, and I think we need to read through those history pages and understand the kind of sacrifices that were made during that time, and we need to pay our own tributes to all the heroes and the martyrs. This is Beena Khan. Have a great day.